Welcome back to our channel. Our special guest today is Joshua Leonard. He's a character designer and a traditional anime artist. Thank you for joining today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get started. Where are you from?
From Dade County, Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a military brat, so I lived in a few places. Lived in Miami, I lived in Alaska, lived in Maryland, lived in Biloxi, Mississippi, and right now I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, you're in Atlanta now. Okay. So I read that you were, I guess, displaced, homeless due to Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Okay.
2005.
So, I mean, a lot of people know, about that time, but what was your experience with that?
My experience was rough, man. So I was living in Biloxi, Mississippi. You know, I don't have family out there. So my family was in San Antonio at the time. So I ended up evacuating with my girlfriend at the time and her family. And we went to Louisiana first, and then we had to go up to Atlanta. But just that whole process, man, not being able to fill up the tank of gas because it was just so many people. It was almost like a movie, man. You using the same water after somebody else to bathe, and it was some end of day type stuff. Food was, everything was scarce pretty much. Bags of ice, you couldn't get bags of ice, just little things that we take for granted now. We couldn't get it, just the small stuff we was trying to get, little bottled waters and stuff like that. But I'm grateful that I went through that whole process, even though it was bad, it was rough. My daughter was born during that whole process. And so it makes you really appreciate like little things, man. That's why I don't really let a lot of stuff get to me, because I've been through that. So I don't, money comes and goes. I can be rich today and that stuff can be gone in a blink of an eye. And that's literally what happened. Because I was going to I was at William Carey College, which is right on the water in Biloxi. And when I evacuated the dorms, I came back to visit, and it was gone, man. Like everything on that beach, all those mansions, they were wiped out. It was just a slab. So just seeing all of that, man, it really makes you appreciate the little things for sure.
Puts everything into perspective, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So in the midst of all that, you were able to graduate top of your class, 4.0.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah. So after during Hurricane Katrina, Mississippi is cool. It's a lot of good people out there, but it's really slow. And me being an animator, there's no animation out there other than like casino work and stuff like that. So I needed way more opportunity, especially being a city boy. I needed to be back in like a fast-paced environment. So when I got evacuated to Atlanta, I tried to go to the Art Institute. But at that time, I was still at William Carey, so I had a lot of debt and all of that. Didn't get into the Art Institute, not because of the talent. I had too much debt and all this stuff was going on. So I think I stayed in Atlanta for a couple of months, and then we went back to Biloxi, Mississippi. Stayed there for a little bit longer because my daughter was there, so kind of followed them back and forth. But I applied again, and this time my debt was down. I wanted to really do animation. So next time I applied at the Art Institute, I actually got in. And when I got in that time, man, I knew I had to, I'm very competitive. So I really wanted to do my best, and really just any competition, I was going to try to destroy it. Right. So, and that's just kind of how I live my life today, man. I love competing, and I take pride in my work. And anything I touch, I'm going to do my best with it.
So where did you get the idea, for animation? Is that something that you'd always wanted to chase, or did it start out as a hobby?
Yeah. So I'm the youngest of three boys. I'm the baby. And my older brother, Jason, he's the one, he taught me how to draw like Garfield when I was like really kindergarten age. So
oh, wow.
That's where the art came from. And we all athletes on my side of the family. But he taught me how to draw Garfield, and I always loved drawing ever since then. I love watching like Looney Tunes and Chuck Jones, obviously Disney. I like Marvel type stuff, DC. But that's where it started, man. Once I learned how to draw Garfield, it was a wrap, man. And I never put that pen down. And even being an athlete, you know, I got recruited in some sports, but I never always had that backdrop just in case I got injured, which I did. I blew my knee.
Oh, wow.
But everything happens for a reason, man. So it was the best. It was the best thing. It was the best best injury to happen to me. And I'm healthy now, but at the time, high school, I probably still could have played college ball because I missed 3 games and then I went back. But that's when I really knew, like, I want to draw. I want to create. I want to tell these stories, and I want to do it my way. So that's where that came from.
Well, so most would say that would be a blessing in disguise, then, you know?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So where did the idea, the Team Supreme come from?
So that came from the original reason is because of the animation industry. A lot of people don't know this, but they know about it from my interviews. But the industry has less than 4% Black people in it. So, and with people with a disability, it's way more than that. It might be like 2%, less than 2%, that get like gigs and, you know, even on screen animation. You don't really see a cartoon character with a disability unless Family Guy is making fun of it or something like that. So I took the fact that there's not a lot of Black people in the industry and people with disabilities. So I was like, you know what? They're not really hiring us. So I'm going to really step outside of this box and create Black characters, diverse characters, inclusive characters, specifically to these, you know, these differences. And that's what I wanted to do, man. So that's been my brand ever since. And I work with people. I got friends with kids that have a, you know, medical difference or a disability. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to make my main characters inclusive to people with disabilities that have superpowers. You know, that ain't never been done before, like I'm doing it. You know, to have a whole team of people, a whole universe of nothing but people with disabilities. You know, sickle cell and everything, man, diabetes, just all of these different disabilities and differences, but they have superpowers. So, and then they'll all be different from different backgrounds, you know, cultures and stuff like that, man. So I thought it would be dope.
Yeah, that's a great way to get, you know, started into what you're doing because so many people can relate. A lot of the cartoons there's a lot of talented people out there, I'm sure you know, obviously.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is something outside the box because you're right. You don't see a lot of, you know, superheroes with disabilities and things like that, and that come from a diverse background. So hats off to you, man. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So where's your work been featured in so far?
Like artwork?
Yeah, your artwork and even the guys behind you.
Yeah, I've done, let's see, last year I went to New Jersey and I did the Novartis Pharmaceuticals, which is like one of the biggest I think it's the biggest pharmaceutical company. So I went out there and I spoke to about 100 students during they have like a disability mentoring day. So I went out there and spoke out there and I had a blast, man. I've been in, let me see, several magazines, a lot of like internet companies, you know, websites, attention.com, man, a lot, man. And I'm really thankful and grateful for that. I'm trying to think, man, been on a couple magazine covers for Team Supreme, obviously, that's the brand. So just a lot of different ones, but quite a few, and they're all on my website. So yeah.
What's it been like having, I know you've had a couple opportunities with Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been not the focal point, but has that been your highest level so far that you feel like, hey, this is the biggest stage right here?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I was in school at the Art Institute, and I tell, younger kids and kids about to graduate as well, like you gotta network, man. I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is probably my favorite social media app, just because you can search the word animation. It's gonna bring you all these studios, and then it tells you who works at the studios, and you can add a lot of them. or reach out to them. So that's what I did. I got on Twitter one day, and there's a movie called Mila that's still in the works. And shout out to Chinzia. She's the one that gave me an opportunity to work on that short film. And it's supposed to be like Oscar worthy. Like it's,
oh, wow.
it's gonna be, man. So I did illustration on it. I did graphic design on it, and I didn't get paid. But as a college student, I was like, man, I just want to learn. I want to work with industry people. And ever since, man, me and Chinzia, we've been really good friends. She's out there in LA. I think she works for, I think she's over like production at Cinesite, who does stuff for Black Panther, big time company out of the UK and Canada. But that relationship that I built with her and the rest of those people that worked on the Mila film has opened more doors for me. So, I mean, she broke it down after I graduated, and she's like, man, how come you're not getting, you know, the jobs? You definitely got the talent to do it. So she looked at my website and she's like, take this off, fix this, do this one, remove that. And when she helped me and got my new business card, helped me with the business cards, helped me change the website. And I was walking into Home Depot one day and I got an email from Nickelodeon, man. So I was like, man, how much? And they you know, they just that's Hollywood money. So you making way more money. And the reason I can't put it on my website yet is because the shows are not out yet. So I can't really share what the name is and all of that stuff. But it's been a real blessing, man. So I got a couple Nickelodeon checks and I got them hanging up in on my mirror in there just to kind of keep me humble. Like I'm really close, man. So, and that's why I'm here, man. I'm here to help out the next generation, to try to make it easier for people of color and just people that look different, man. That's what I'm about, man. Like everybody should get a chance to work wherever they want to work if they're able to work. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm really grateful. And shout out to Chris Young. Chris Young is the one that found me on LinkedIn. He was a manager at Nickelodeon, and he's the one that gave me the opportunity, man. And I got to work from home on each show. And when I did go out to LA to Nickelodeon, I got to meet him, you know, face to face and all of that, man. And as a character designer, you don't know, like, all they say, okay, yeah, I like this one, you know, change this, do this, blah, blah, blah. And then I went out there to LA and met with Chris Young and the rest of the team for this show that I'm working on. And he let me see like 15 minutes of the episode, and it was my character. Seeing your characters on this thing in 3D is like, man, I was about to cry, man. It was dope. It was dope, man. So, yeah, I'm real grateful for that opportunity, man.
If you can we talk a little bit about the characters behind you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them back there. And this is just some. I got a lot of characters, man. These are just like the main ones. So
okay.
And when I spoke at Novartis, like I was telling you, they had these things built, and they let me. I was blessed that they let me have these.
Oh, okay.
They shipped them to me, so they're all life size and they're big, man. But yeah, so my main character, I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, the big dude. He's actually based on, that's Dr. Jackson. He's actually based on my best friend, Brent Jackson, who was killed in 2008. So he got robbed and he got killed in 2008 when I was living in Mississippi. So that's just me keeping his name alive. A lot of people thought that was me, but that's actually my best friend, Brent. So big dude, muscle, really nice guy. Just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, man, unfortunately. So the dope thing about my cartoon, Team Supreme, if y'all don't know, Team Supreme is a show about kids who have a disability, but they also have superpowers. You know, their superpower is their disability. And that came from me working with people who have, you know, who are on the autism spectrum. I got friends that got sons, you know, with kids with that are on the autism spectrum as well, high functioning. And these kids are brilliant, man. And, you know, the stuff that they, like that, the way their brain works and the stuff that they can remember. And I'm seeing that and I'm learning and I'm like, man, this is like a superpower, bro. Like I think I'm okay, smart, you know, 4.0. I did okay. But when you listen to them and, you know, the way they can break this stuff down and like the details and the intricacies and everything's intricate, you know, that's when I kind of fell in love with this stuff, man. I started doing the research and stuff like that. So Zeke is my main character. That's the one with the high top fade.
Okay.
So he has autism. I have Thumper in the orange and green over here. He's deaf. And I want to shout out, Lena Wade and Jason Weaver, Rishi, my whole team, my writer, Giselle. She's actually partially deaf. So, and she's just a dope. She's also from Miami. But my whole team, man, is amazing. They're really helping me to develop this show. And right now we're in the pitching phase, man. So hopefully we get the funding to make this happen. I have Mech right here in the wheelchair. So yeah, spina bifida.
Okay.
I have Lee right here. She's blind. And then I have Sweet Pea right there, who's Zeke's little sister. So originally we had Sweet Pea having we were gonna give her sickle cell, but we changed it because we wanted to show what a family member goes through who doesn't have like a medical difference. So we wanted to show that relationship between her brother who has autism and she is, so-called, no regular or normal without, and we just want to show what that dialogue would be like and how the household is having one with this and one that doesn't classify as disabled. But, I feel like everybody breathing has some form of disability. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's kind of where we at, man. Those are the main characters right there. And I'm excited to really get this thing moving.
Absolutely. So you talked about, you kind of touched on giving the next generation and the next, kids coming up advice. I know you mentioned LinkedIn, networking. What else would you recommend?
Yeah, I would recommend, man, you got to take pride in your work, man. My father raised me, my dad, shout out to my pops, man. He retired chief in the Air Force. He got 3 master's degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, grew up poor in the hood in Texas. But he really inspired me. And even when I was growing up, he was never one, even being a military dude, he was never one like, you're going to do this, you better do this. Like, he just been always supportive of me. If I wanted to play ball, he'd be like, good, do it. If I wanted to draw, do it. He just wanted me to put my best foot forward, do your best. And so I got a 14-year-old daughter, and that's kind of what I teach her, man. Like, my dad told me, like, just be a man of integrity, man. Integrity is not what you do when somebody's watching you, is what you do when they're not watching you, Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So always remember to take pride in your work, do the right thing. It's not going to be easy. I can tell you that up front, man. It's never going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it when you do make it. You don't want nothing that's easy anyway. You want to appreciate it. So, like me right now, it's hard for me to get hired in these big major studios. I don't know why. Maybe because of my brand, that they know I'm going to draw these Black characters. I'm going to draw Spanish character. I'm going to make it diverse and inclusive. So I don't know. Maybe I've been blacklisted, but at the same time, I'm here to put pressure on these studios to make them change the narrative that all Black characters shouldn't have, all bad characters shouldn't have Black equated with them. If you notice that, like a lot of villains, they equate the villains with black hair, black dark eyes, black
right.
costume. So, me being 36 years old, I grew up seeing that stuff, and it'll take a toll on you. And a kid sees that as well, and they like, oh, Black, he's a bad guy.
Right.
So Team Supreme, I don't want them to look like that. I want them to be handsome. I want them to be women, pretty girl. You never know who's a bad guy, who's a good guy. So basically the whole don't judge a book by its cover thing. But another thing is network, man. Don't be afraid to open your mouth and network. And when you do reach out to these professionals in the industry, don't just hit them up and, hey, how do I do this? Tell them who you are. Introduce yourself. Be classy, be respectful, because they are busy. But if you approach them properly, with respect, they will hit you back, and they'll give you some great tips and feedback. Even they do that with me right now. These big directors in Hollywood and Warner Brothers, they love my artwork and they love what I do, but they won't hire me. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a gift and a curse. So my main thing is respect, and I want to make sure the next generation doesn't have any issues when they want to get in this industry and tell their stories and stuff like that. That's why I'm glad I have Jason Weaver and Lena Waithe on board, Hillman grad, because they like the outside of the box stuff as well. So
yeah, and I just saw your post, I think a couple days ago, the artistry you did for Jason Weaver. That was incredible. Very nice work.
Man, I did that really fast. I got off. I still work at Home Depot full time. For y'all who don't know, so it's very, I tell people, I tell people straight up, man. I'm very humble, and like I said, I appreciate the fact that I have a job. You know what I mean? I would love to draw full time, but until I can do that, I gotta pay these bills and do what I gotta do. But even working at home time, I still take pride in my work and really do my best work. So I get off at 10 p.m. and I forget Jason's birthday is the next day. So I'm like, man, I got to whip something up for him, man. 'Cause he has done a lot for me. He got Team Supreme in Lena's hands. And anytime he does an interview with Netflix, he always mentions me and Team Supreme. He said I was the next Stan Lee, which is dope. That's a lot of pressure, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure, man. But he really believes in me and what I'm bringing to the table. So that's my boy, man. So I had to do that real quick for him. So he loved it.
I guess my second to last question too. So, you build the brand, the Team Supreme, and you kind of touched on it, going to these different networks and maybe they kind of, feel a certain way.
Right.
Is that tough to grasp that obviously, hey, I have a talent, I can do what you want me to do, but hey, I feel like, this is something different.
Yeah.
Give it a chance, Has that been pretty tough?
Absolutely. It's very tough. It's very discouraging. It's very frustrating. But at the same time, I knew what I was signing up for with this industry. I've done research on it for so long. One thing I knew, and one thing I always do, like if a company is recruiting me or they want to I will go Google their company or go to their website and I'll look at their group picture. Usually it's probably 1 or 2 Black people in there at an animation studio, if that. So when I see stuff like that, automatically, it's not enough people over there. Like you can tell the diversity is terrible. So seeing stuff like that, it's already like, oh man, that's a red flag, man, because I wouldn't even be able to be myself in there. Right. If I do, I'll get fired, man. I'm not a disrespectful person, but I will speak up if that's not how Black people act. Don't make them look like that in a cartoon. Little kids are watching. My daughter gonna watch this. That's not how we act. So when I see stuff like that, and then knowing I have like a gold mine of, as far as a cartoon goes, an idea like Team Supreme has never been done. Even if PBS tries to do what they're gonna do, there's still nothing even like this. But studios are still old fashioned. They don't want to take like brand new steps. They still have to. That's why there's so much trash on TV right now.
A lot
of trash on TV. A lot of movies are garbage, and they don't want to try anything new because they know, well, this worked before. Let's just change this. Let's tweak this and make our own version of it. And it's the same movies. Same movies are out. Same cartoons are out. And the cartoons that are out now, you can tell that there's no diversity in the studio because the cartoons are trash. So when we see stuff like that, it's frustrating, man. And I know way too many. Black people, Mexicans. I know too many dope artists that deserve studio work, but they just not getting it just because how they look, unfortunately. So yeah, it's pretty rough, man. But like I said, I'm a competitor. I have a chip on my shoulder, and I'm gonna put pressure on these studios, man, to make them make these changes. So
you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's next for you? You've kind of touched on it again. You can't say a whole lot about some of the things that are upcoming, but I guess in the short time, what can we expect?
Man, that's a good question. Like right now, I'm real busy. Matter of fact, another thing, Jason Weaver just got me in touch with Omar Dorsey, who's a dope friend, and he's a big time actor. He's in Greenleaf and
Mhm.
played in Django, Starsky and Hutch, a lot of
Yeah.
movies. So I spoke with him. We did a Zoom call with him and Crystal. I forgot her last name, but she's on Greenleaf as well. She's a producer. So they have a cartoon that they get ready to pitch. I'm gonna be doing some character design for them. And I mean, he was telling me about how Anthony Mackie is a fan of my work and how Anthony's gonna mention my name when he goes and meets with Marvel and Disney, as it pertains to we need to get more diversity in Marvel or in Disney or in the Avengers. You know, we need to get more. So stuff like that, man. So I'm really grateful for that, man. And anytime Jason shares my artwork, I get 100, you know, thousands of new followers on Instagram and celebrities hit me up. I can't remember what Braxton it was, but it wasn't Tony Braxton. It was one of the sisters, but they hit me up. A couple other actors, actresses. So it's pretty dope, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that bag from them real quick.
And that social media, it's crazy. I mean, how fast word travels, because that's how I found you was through on Jason Weaver's Instagram. He was sharing some of your artwork. Yeah. And, you know, so I'm very grateful that you took this interview. Again, I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
So where can newfound fans find you?
I'm on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, a lot of them. And I'm Joshua Leonard. That's IMJOSHUALEONARD. I have Leonard Studios on Instagram, so you can just add Leonard Studios, LEONARDSTUDIOS. The Joshua Leonard Foundation is on Instagram and Twitter. All of those are Instagram and Twitter. They're all the same. And Team Supreme Cartoon, if you want to keep in touch with the actual show of these characters, you know, updates and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's it.
Well, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. I'm glad that the doors are opening up for you. There's a lot of talent behind you.
Thank you.
So we wish you the best. Again, thank you for taking the interview.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right. We'll see.